Did you know that some of Isaiah's most shocking prophecies are aligning with current global events? More than 2,500 years ago, a voice from heaven selected Isaiah to deliver a message in a war-torn Jerusalem that was drowning in chaos and sin. He had shocking visions that were so vivid and detailed. He witnessed a holy temple in ruins, nations turning against each other, and an eternal kingdom emerging right here on earth. Some of his prophecies have miraculously materialized, like the fall of Babylon. However, 3 significant visions have been lurking in the background, just waiting for the right moment to come to light. What if I told you that the book of Isaiah holds 3 unfulfilled prophecies? Let's explore those 3 prophecies that could be closer than we think. Judgment of the world. Isaiah 24 presents a terrifying image of the earth, shattered and on fire, with no fortress strong enough to endure and no country safe enough to resist the flames. And as you read those words, you can't help but wonder, could this vision be just months or days away from becoming reality? It's an unavoidable and ultimate vision of judgment. From the moment the mushroom-shaped shadow fell over Hiroshima, we've come to realize that the earth can face destruction in ways more terrible than people from the past could ever have imagined. Imagine it. The mighty cities were reduced to ash. The powerful were humbled, and the hidden were brought to the light. Not even the wealthiest elites, celebrities, or kings are exempt. Money won't save them. Their status won't protect them. Religion won't save them. Everyone, regardless of their status, is equal before God's judgment. On that day, kings and leaders will stand shoulder to shoulder with ordinary people, all facing the same judgment. Why will God judge the earth? The reason goes deeper than you think. It has some purpose, not a random act. Verse 5 makes it clear. God's rules have been broken, His laws ignored, and His eternal covenant shattered. Now that humanity has abandoned Him, the balance has shifted. The Bible describes it clearly. God will take the planet like a dirty bowl, turn it upside down, scrape out the dirt, and scrub it clean. It serves as a powerful symbol for the future. All that is familiar will be shattered and lost. Being a holy God, He cannot leave the world as it is. He'll wash away all the sin and any traces of disobedience. However, there is a price for this purification. The world as we know it will completely change. Silence and sorrow will take the place of fun and happiness. The most depressing aspect is clearly expressed in verse 11. All joy has reached its eventide. The joy of the earth is gone. Those who used to enjoy their sins will not be able to find solace. Their usual coping strategies won't work either. According to the Bible, people will try to find solace in strong drinks, but it won't help. The very things they depend on will betray them. As the earth begins to crack under the burden of humanity's rebellion, we find ourselves on the brink of a moment that will alter everything for good. The cracks deepen, and with each one, we draw nearer to the edge of the abyss. What will be left after the dust settles and the cleaning is finished? What kind of world will emerge after this judgment? The return of the Lord. The world feels heavy these days, right? It seems like the earth itself is weeping because of natural calamities, unrest, and misunderstanding about right and wrong. Isaiah's words from long ago now appear surprisingly similar. He warned us that the earth would tremble violently and fall apart like a fragile vessel. He wrote, "The earth is violently broken. It shall reel to and fro like a drunkard and shall totter like a hut." Imagine this for a second. The ground we stand on feels shaky, the world tilting as if it can't handle the burden of its own flaws. Doesn't it echo the earthquakes and chaos we witness in our lives today? Isaiah was not just talking about the natural disasters. He witnessed a moral earthquake as well. "Woe to those who call evil good and good evil," he said. The world's compass spinning uncontrollably when darkness celebrated and light mocked. It's not just a warning, it's a wake-up call. Are these indications a symptom of the Lord's second coming? Isaiah's vision of the day of the Lord paints a picture of incredible strength and majesty. He said, "Look, the day of the Lord comes with wrath and fierce anger to make the land a desolation and to destroy its sinners from it." The sun grows darker, the moon hides its light, and the stars appear to bow down to the power of the Creator. Immediately after the tribulation, the sun will be darkened, the moon will not give its light, and the Son of Man will appear in heaven, Jesus said, echoing Isaiah's prophecy centuries later. Picture this: the earth trembling, the skies becoming dark, and then, in a moment of cosmic wonder, the Lord Himself showing up. It marks the start of a divine transformation, rather than just the end of an era. However, Isaiah's message isn't all negative. It's also a story of hope. He tells us fire purifies. By removing the old and dirty, it creates space for the new. It's similar to a forest fire that burns everything in its path, but then makes way for vibrant new life to emerge. The return of the Lord is a promise of restoration, not something to be feared for those who love Him. Light comes after darkness. Judgment is followed by restoration. Isaiah's words, "Then the moon will be disgraced and the sun ashamed. For the Lord of hosts reigns on Mount Zion and in Jerusalem, and His glory will be before His elders." Did you notice that? Isaiah mentions that the moon and sun, the two brightest objects we can see, will seem dim next to God's glory. And where will God rule? In Jerusalem, right where so much of the world's focus is today. We live in the middle of the story. The world shakes, the hearts tremble, and yet there's time. Seek the Lord while He may be found. Call upon Him while He is near, is Isaiah's clear call. Now is the time for us to wake up, to choose truth over lies, light over darkness, and hope over despair. It's not just preparing ourselves. It's about reaching out to others. In the middle of the chaos, people are looking for answers and something solid to hold on to. Everyone is eligible for God's kingdom promise. Romans remind us, "Whoever calls on the name of the Lord shall be saved." Isaiah had a vision of a brighter future, one where judgment transforms into joy, where the light of God shines brightly, and where peace finally blankets the earth. The big question is, will we choose to be a part of it? The time to make that decision is now. New Jerusalem. Isaiah shows an extraordinary scenario, a world that has been completely transformed, a place that is far beyond human imagination. It begins with the promise of a new earth and a new heaven, which is so profound that it almost seems like a dream. What if there were a world where the heartbreak of yesterday is forgotten and every tear is wiped away? Intriguing, isn't it? Isaiah sees something much more concrete and solid instead of fluffy clouds or harps. This is a new world, a kingdom that God Himself created. We get a glimpse of this wonderful reality through Isaiah's words in chapter 65, which act as a doorway. He writes, "See, I will create new heavens and a new earth. The former things will not be remembered, nor will they come to mind." It's a daring statement, a world so happy that the suffering of the past fades into the past. Imagine Jerusalem reborn, a city unlike any other, full of laughter and peace. The days of sorrow and mourning are behind us. Isaiah tells us, "There will no longer be heard in her the voice of weeping or the sound of crying." A place where no one dies too young, and a person who reaches 100 will still be considered young, with each moment filled with meaning and joy. Can you imagine it? Men and women building their own homes, settling in, planting vineyards, and savoring the fruits of their hard work, all without the worry of losing it to someone else. No child should have to face tragedy, and no work goes wasted. The blessings from the Lord will thrive and be passed down through generations. And then we find ourselves in a peace that feels completely unique, something this world has never experienced before. The lion will eat straw like the ox, the wolf and lamb will graze together, and snakes will no longer be a threat. Predators and prey, who have been enemies since the beginning of time, will live in harmony. Isaiah hears the voice of the Lord declaring, "They will do no evil or harm in all my holy mountain." Even prayer will change. God will answer before the humans can speak. He will hear while they are still forming words on their lips. The New Jerusalem becomes a symbol of divine joy and a beacon of God's love for His people. A place where the cries of pain are replaced with songs of celebration, and even time itself takes on an entirely new meaning. Lifespans are unimaginable, and every work pays off as the faithful enjoy God's blessings. While Isaiah's vision gives us hope, Peter's words give us a sense of urgency. He cautions, "For you yourselves are fully aware that the day of the Lord will come like a thief in the night." In this pivotal moment, those who believe are encouraged to lead lives of holiness, getting ready for the glory that lies ahead. It reminds us that God's promise is about how we choose to live in this moment as much as it is about the future. Then there is Revelation, which offers a marvelous insight into eternity. A new Jerusalem is descending from heaven, shining like a jewel in the divine light, and right in the middle is God's throne, encircled by saved souls. There's no more death or suffering in this place. A strong relationship with God and eternal peace replace the difficulties we face in this life. The goal of this vision is to rise above memories, not to erase them. We will find ourselves overwhelmed by the beauty and joy of this new creation. Much like a child leaves behind their fears of the night when the morning sun shines. The river of life quenches every thirst in this world of perfection, purity, and limitless fulfillment. However, this prophecy also acts as a wake-up call. Those who wholeheartedly follow God will experience a closeness with Him and receive blessings beyond imagination. Yet there's a serious warning for those who turn away from His ways, a fate filled with separation and suffering.